as we are going to be setting up for our second semi-finals of the night. Heard you like TvP, Yaku.
I do quite a bit, yeah. It's always a fun matchup, IMO. Right now I prefer watching it than playing it, but yeah, it's always a fun matchup. Anyway, we are going to be kicking things off on 2000's Atmosphere. LE, we're seeing a lot of this map today. LE, we're of course in the top right-hand corner map, so to go all the way to the top right-hand corner. We have our red Terran player coming down from the land of Korea, but he's not Bjorn this time. He is going to be representing Team NV. He is Spear. Not Pair.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of 2000 Atmosphere's ALE, we have the pink Polish Protoss player representing Genesis Gaming. It is ArT.
Recently qualifying for DreamHack.
Yeah, massive shout out to ArT. Again, another up-and-coming Polish player in the European scene that has been doing very well for himself, but still looking to break into the upper echelons of those European players. And he's on the road, mate. He's on the way.
He really is. He is straight up the top seed in Sparkling Tuna Cup. So we've always known he had it in.
Yeah, even before Sparkling Tuna Cup, you know, ArT, he was spending some time in Korea. He was playing in all the weekly ESL Open Cups as well. It's great to see him kind of grow as a player these past couple of years. But, can he take down a player of the caliber of Spear? We didn't get to talk about it, but Spear did take down Demi. 2-1.
Dude, obviously that was a bit of a different matchup. It was a TVZ rather than TVP, but Demi, he has reformed. So that's pretty impressive for Spear to be able to take on Demi like that.
Or so he says.
Well, I like to believe.
Regardless, you know, Demi, the reformed Demi, at least, he is going to be our highest placing Southeast Asian player. You know, even though he got knocked out, he will be making some money, so I hope he's not feeling too bad about that.
Yeah. Maybe he can win the raffle again.
I like how he said it. Yeah, again. Yep. Not wrong.
Yep.
Oh, God. Meanwhile, the Reaper will get behind the middle line, and he will be able to scout the tech.
Nice. So, Spear back at home should be feeling a little bit pressured to defend. If he does go for the standard mine drop, he's going to be hiding that Widow Mine behind a gas geyser, or ideally that's what he's going to be doing. And yep, it is just going to be that 1v1.
Yeah, very close scout there because his Reaper had almost died trying to kill some probes, so it was very clutch in the end. But as you were saying, now Spear is fully aware of the danger of an Oracle, so he's going to be positioning his units, his mines, his marines. He may even go for a Viking. I don't know if he'll go that far, as he is denying the Adept some scouting.
Yeah, I think at this point, you know, most Protoss players do have an inkling of what's to come, but it's always nice to keep them guessing.
Yeah,
That's actually only a single mine.
Yeah, it's a little bit interesting here. One mine straight into, and he's getting the Viking, by the way, as well, to really shut down this Oracle. But the mine is in between the production, not in the mineral line. Oh, no!
Oh! What a clutch reveal here for ArT. Man, I was about to say, yo, Spear has such a massive brain. He knows exactly how Protoss players want to path their oracles, but wasn't meant to be in the end.
I was so scared there for a moment, but ArT keeps all his units alive. Spear is going to move out with some of these marines to force this back, and again, even though they don't have stim, with enough marines, they do pose quite a threat. So in the end, ArT so far hasn't really gotten much done here with this oracle, other than scouting, to be fair.
Yeah, and scouting is most important in PvT. I do definitely feel like the Protoss player wants to be a bit more reactive than the Terran player. Almost gets that Oracle. Once again, Spear, he just knows, man. He just knows where Protoss players want to position their units.
Yeah. Spear's like like map sense and army movement has been insane this game. Wasn't enough to kill an Oracle, just barely, but regardless, it's been very impressive. Meanwhile, ArT, I like it. Approaching this very differently from Chance. He's not playing around with like the mass swarm toss style.
Yeah, immediately he throws down that Robo Bay. Shortly before throwing down his third base, I believe the Oracle went down now. Yep, went down to the Viking.
Oh, did go down in the end. Oh, so the Oracle finally gets cleaned up. But again, I'm sure ArT is fine with that. He wants to keep his opponent at bay. ArT will be delaying Blink, will be delaying Charge as well to go into a much faster Colossus after this Robotic Spade does finish up. I assume it's, yeah, there we go. I assume it's going to be Colossus, and the first one is on the way.
Yeah, Disruptors this early on. You can pull them off, but it's a bit more of a risk here. You know, it's harder to really nail those Novas when the Bioforce is this low.
Oh, yeah.
And this mobile.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's no mass amount of them, and you can't really cause havoc by sending out that Nova. Meanwhile, the first drop on the left-hand side was scouted by a Spotter Adept, so he will be able to rock up, but ArT is already, for the most part, in position. Oh.
Yeah, not the most committed push here from Spear, but he is able to take out that shield battery. That does mean that later down the line, if Spear wants to push in that location, it's going to be a little bit easier for him.
Yeah.
Speaking of, this is wide open.
Yeah, he does try to focus on this Colossus, but there's far too much buffer here. The drop gets forced back. At the same time, Spear comes in with that same drop again.
Yeah, he takes out the shield battery once more, and let's see what he decides to target down here. They landed Viking. Gonna be taking out a ton of probes, and the drop does get forced into the main base now.
Yeah, exactly.
This is wild here.
We do have a couple of Phoenixes that are going to be able to slow this down, but there are just so many Marines. The Phoenixes are not going to be enough, and look how many probes have gone down.
15.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I can read. Potentially even more. I'm really liking the targets of Spear right now. He is not, he's not focusing too much on trying to take out these lone Colossus. He is aware of what his Bioforce is able to accomplish, so he takes out little buildings like shield batteries and little units like probes here and there.
Yeah, exactly, man. I'm glad you can read, but 15 probes went down there in that engagement, and that was crazy. That was insane. We do have like a bit of a surround kind of being set up for Spear. I feel like maybe ArT is overextended, and there we go. We do have a recall here. Otherwise, the Colossus would have been focused down.
Yeah, Spear trying to focus it down here, but thankfully the recall was enough to save that Colossus. I will admit I was exaggerating a little bit when I said I could read. I can kind of read.
Just shaking my head. Oh my god. But yeah, that was very impressive by Spear. He now takes the worker lead. He's already got a fourth base on the way. Something that, again, you don't see too often in this position in a TvP. But ArT is working up on that Colossus count. He didn't lose any, so the Colossus count is getting higher and higher.
Yeah, 3 of them on the way. That's kind of the sweet spot here for a PvT. If he really wanted to, I suppose he could get a 4th just to make it a little bit more difficult on Spear. But yeah, he doesn't really feel the need to right now. I'm loving this from Spear. He does lose a lot of Marauders, but he draws the entire army away, leaves his third base vulnerable once again.
He does. He just keeps going for the multi-pronged attacks, but finally, it looks like ArT is wise to him, so he splits up his army. The Colossus on the left, but oh my god, they're exposed! The Marauders are going to try to focus them down. They'll get one!
But only one. There was just a bit too many Marines in that army. Marauders were not quite able to take it out.
Yeah, but mate, losing that handful of units there for a Colossus, not bad at all there for Spear. You were talking about it, 3 Colossus is kind of the ideal count that you want before getting into Disruptors. Well, Disruptors are on the way, and now ArT is down to 2.
Yeah, he doesn't quite have that sweet spot. He needs a little more sugar in the recipe.
Yeah, a little more sugar, a little less spice, but here we go. Spear has been building up behind all of this. His worker count has been left untouched, and now he's up to 69 SCVs. Nice. Yeah, boy. And now Spear, he is coming in. He's got Vikings, he's got Marauders. Doesn't have any Ghosts. Again, that's kind of the big difference between him and Beyond. Beyond does love rushing into that Ghost Academy a little bit faster, but Spear, he's still got a pretty terrifying army nonetheless.
Yeah, and in fairness to Spear, he has been building up an anti-Colossus army specifically. So he wasn't feeling, he wasn't really feeling the need to get ghosts just yet. It would be nice to see a couple of them, but yeah, for now he is still dominating the skies, waiting for that battery overcharge to finish, to come off. The mines do get taken out by that disruptor, and meanwhile we actually have a little bit of a run by here. A tiny Bioforce forcing a warping of Zealots pretty far away from where the action's happening. But Spear shouldn't be able to push into this.
Yeah, the Marauders, they get cleaned up. Now ArT doesn't have to worry about any multi-prong. He has successfully defended at his third base location. And Spear is going to have to back off, respect this. And that's okay because the Madman is working on Liberators.
That just about seals the deal here for the Terran army. You know, we were talking about the recipe here for ArT not being as sweet as it could be. Now the Terran army is going to get very spicy.
Oh, yeah, especially with some... Okay. I thought it was going to drop the Vikings.
Same, yeah.
I was like,
I thought so, too. That would absolutely shred that mineral line.
It would. It actually would. Meanwhile, at the same time, looks like there was a little bit of harass across the map. 4 SCVs went down, but the main army of ArT is pushing out across the map. Is he ever extending, though? Liberators are coming out, and those Vikings, they're actually being zoned out.
Oh, yeah. Very nicely done here by ArT. You're gonna try to get a couple of volleys off now, though, and oh, these Vikings are gonna go down.
Ooh.
Very smartly positioned here from ArT.
Yeah, exactly. At the same time, Spear, after losing every single one of his Vikings, is gonna try and catch the army. He's like, mate, you're in a corner. You're gonna have to recoil if you want to get out of here. Do you really want to fight this? Up, he's going for it.
He's a blink. He is going for it. A couple of liberation zones being thrown down. Wow, that spling right at the end there from Spear. Only loses one Marauder, but I spoke a little bit too soon there as the second follow-up Purification Nova gets a whole chunk of the bio. SUVs are going down to two Zealot run-bys, but at the very least for Spear, he is able to force this back. This is really good for ArT, though. He has finally sort of equalized when it comes to the armies. He's kind of reset the bio count in a way, which is really funny to say, because bio is meant to be a bit more expendable, but that's essentially what happened with that Purification Nova.
I mean, Spear was on the cusp of snowballing, but there were 2 moves that happened there. ArT was able to zone out and kill every single Viking, and then we saw that massive Nova as well. Unfortunately, Spear was distracted by the run-by. At that exact moment, he was looking at another part of the map. The Nova went off. Boom. Just like that, ArT was able to even things up and equalize.
And now that the Fleet Beacon, now that the Fleet Beacon has finished up, he's working on getting a couple of Tempests to deal with those Liberators. But here comes the drop, and mind you, Spear, or ArT rather, cannot recall to this position. Not taking out the buildings though.
Yeah, exactly. He's gonna try and focus out the Fleet Beacon. It looks like he will get the beacon in the end, just barely.
Yeah, we'll be losing this force, and ArT does force out a couple of Tempests before the Fleet Beacon went down, so this is a really good way of mitigating that loss here for ArT, but he does need to rebuild it. There we go, he's rebuilding it.
Yeah, it is on the way. Meanwhile, War Prism just got shut down by Spear, so now he doesn't have to worry too much about all that aggression. Liberators are about to rock up, but he has to be a little bit careful not to fight here. Like, Spear doesn't really have too much.
He doesn't, but those liberation zones are still scary, apparently.
Yeah, exactly.
2 Tempests right now, so...
Yeah, not enough Tempests. He could try and shell away at them with his Tempest, but he would leave them vulnerable to the bio. At the same time, another army here towards the top left-hand side, but a Warping of Zealots may be enough to just barely force us back. Give ArT enough time to support this with some Stalkers.
I think he's just about able to do so. Meanwhile, I appreciate this from Spear. He's not tunnel visioning. He's working on getting a 5th base up and running. Oh, but the run-by still...
Yeah, the run-by should be able to deny this. Spear is going to try and keep up, but there we go. Forces to cancel on the 5th.
We have the Sky Terran army just trying to deal with what ArT has at the moment, but yeah, it's a little bit difficult. Dark Shrine on the way.
Yo, we
see it.
We got a Dark Shrine. We got carriers as well. Double carrier production is on the way. ArT getting his own 5th base as well, up and running. Again, things were looking really shaky for ArT in the early to mid game, but ArT has more than come back here. He's working on his late game army, and this is where I have to ask you, Yaku, against Skytos, against Vikings and carriers and Archons, what does Spear need?
PCs.
Yeah.
Well,
Yamato, let's go!
Yamato! Well, that's the thing, though. BCs are definitely an option here for the Terran player, and you see players like Maru really utilize it to great effect against Skytoss, but you have to be very patient with them, you know? You have to wait just for the right moment when the Protoss player is out of position and then teleport directly on top of everything. I'm not sure if that's really how Spear likes to play out late game.
Yeah, I'm worried that he has too many Liberators. Looking at the unit count, he has 8, and Liberators do have their place, but I mean, against all these carriers and Tempests, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how the siege is going to look like as Spear is being forced back.
Yeah, Master Liberator can be good against carriers, assuming that they're able to utilize the splash damage against the interceptors, but it's a pretty big if. And of course, when you are using your Liberators for splash damage, you're not having them sieged up. You're not really having them attacking the ground Protoss army.
Yeah, meanwhile, one Tempest just got sniped by all of those Vikings, so nice moves there by Spear, not losing too much. There was a bit of a Zealot run by, so 8 SCVs did go down. But again, when it comes to the armies, he was able to trade a little bit more efficiently. Really waiting for that 5th base. Looks like finally it's going to be floating over. He needs to get another one of these bases up and running. He's been stuck on 4 bases for quite some time.
Yeah, ArT meanwhile has happily been mining from 5 bases for a long time.
I'm sure he's getting ready to... I mean, he's even oversaturated here towards the top left. I'm sure he wants to take another base sooner rather than later. Now he does have a 3rd Stargate up for the mass carrier. And the other big thing I imagine you would also want to see, which, hold on, do we even have the tech structure for it? We don't have a Ghost Academy.
I was gonna say...
What?
He researched Neo Steel Frame before getting a Ghost Academy and a TvP.
We have no academy, which is crazy. Like, EMPs are probably the most valuable spell in this entire matchup. Like, cutting the army health in half is so important.
Yeah, it's an interesting choice here from Spear because I'm not even convinced that it's a case of Spear forgetting to get it. I genuinely think that he just prefers going for a mass Sky Terran style instead of utilizing those ghosts and those EMPs, which ideally you would have both. Ideally you would, but I don't know, maybe Spear just not feeling confident enough in his control.
Yeah, it may be a stylistic thing, right? We were talking about it before, how Beyond, he loves going for early Ghost Academies. Maybe Spear doesn't like Ghost, period. I don't know. Maybe he's confident in this composition. Maybe this is where he finds success. And to be fair, we can see this working, but, and you know, it does require a little bit less control without the Ghost, but the Ghost adds just so much more value here. Nova goes up. Ooh, wants to try and dive in here. Spear doesn't quite find a way in. Up.
Try to force one though, is stimming on forward just to try to strike the ground army as the Vikings do snipe a couple of units. Yeah. Not too bad, but he is forced to retreat. He does lose a couple of Vikings once again.
He got 2 carriers and 1 Colossus. Like, not bad, not bad. But ArT, he's setting himself up here. We have a bit of an outpost, shield batteries being thrown down, cannons as well. And ArT even takes one of Spear's bases.
Your Spear, you gotta be shaking your head right now. After scanning and seeing all of this, just like, well...
You know what would be good here?
Ghost.
Nuke.
Nuke
would... unironically, it would be good. Just like force your opponent. If it goes off, you get cannons, you get shield batteries. But Spear doing what he does best, setting up for a bit of a counterattack.
And the multi-prong coming down. Fortunately, Siege is right on top of these cannons, but yeah, should be able to set the space.
Yeah,
with his fire force.
It'd be crazy if we saw a recall, and now we're not going to see it. ArT will lose the top left hand Nexus in the end, maybe even lose a little bit more.
Yeah, because of how slow Skytoss is. You know, these Bioforces are having a really good time just attacking what little defenses ArT has in this position on the map. Very smartly done by Spear.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, he could just keep going, and here we go. ArT does warp in back at home. He has some of these Archons. He has Storm as well.
Yeah, only 2 high tempo though, and I don't think they have enough energy just yet. Pretty soon though, they should.
Yeah, at the same time, ooh, some of these Tempests are being sniped. Yo, the Vikings are putting but the
Oh! That was one of the juiciest storms I have ever seen. Like, just about every Viking gets caught up in that. And with that, his Viking count almost gets reset.
Yeah.
There's Tempest not going to have to fear too much right now. He has shield battery, and it's a very weakened Viking force.
And you know what's good against High Templar?
Nukes.
Ghosts. Nervous are gonna go up, and it looks like they will get one of these missile turrets to get chipping away at the army. More Tempests are on the way. We are done with carrier production for the time being. We have enough of them. We want some more long-range siege units here for ArT. As again, he's honestly controlling this very well. Double expanding behind this.
Yeah, this is a very expensive army composition for ArT, but he's not hurting too much when it comes to his bank. This is going to be annoying to deal with, though, for him.
Yeah, the one Liberator is doing a lot here across the map, denying a lot of mining, but he doesn't care. He's pushing on in, taking down another one of these missile turrets.
As Spear is just posturing around. Finally, we have those Tesla coil, something coil, upgrade being researched by ArT. It's going to do bonus damage against buildings.
Yeah. I feel like every single time, like, I have to remember what it's called.
Coil,
I never remember.
It's like something coil.
Is it fusion coil? Is it plasma coil? Tesla coil? Flux capacitor?
Maybe. Metabolic boost.
Seismic shockwaves.
Shockwaves? Yeah.
As the Temps again sieging away, pick up unit after unit. Oh my god, what is this? 2, 3 Vikings picked up for free? Oh.
Yeah, we're approaching the critical mass of Sky Toss. Actually, I say approaching. I think we're at the critical mass.
It's just too much here. Spear cannot contend with the mass Tempest, with the mass carrier. He knows he can't. He's going for a counterattack instead. A bit of a desperation move, but I mean, he's got to do something.
Yeah, and honestly, what's that bio going to do here in the defense?
No!
Not a whole lot is my answer. Storms are coming down and taking out a massive amount of the Vikings. Spear even getting baited into staying in the storm a little bit by just trying to take out a couple of those units. Here's a massive bioforce though, and this should be enough to force ArT to come home.
Yeah, but a couple of storms are thrown down as well. It will soften up this army. The Bioforce, though, still standing strong. Takes out one base, could go for another. Are we going to see a recall from ArT?
He's trying to split up his forces right now to, be able to take out more bases than he otherwise would have been able to. But it's not quite working out for him. This force is so stim.
Yeah, the stim is crazy. ArT takes out one of the bases, isolates the top right, or bottom right even, will get another CC for his troubles. Meanwhile, Spear goes all the way to the main base, will deny +3 shields, not bad, but there's, not much longevity in this push.
There definitely isn't. I mean, the medevacs are so low, so I'm not even sure if, picking up and leaving is going to be an option. Stims once again, and, he is getting tech, but he also lost his freshest base. He lost 26 SCVs. He can't even rebuild his army right now. 3 Vikings and 1 tank is on the way, and that's going to be all he can really produce at the moment.
Yeah, that's it. GG gets called, and ArT will take game number 1.
Slow and steady. In the end, it win it for ArT. There were definitely a couple of points that looked a little shaky for him. That looked like Spear was on the cusp of overwhelming his forces, but in the end, ArT just re-solidified himself, focused on his defense, slowly and steadily got to the point where he could counterattack.
Exactly. Like, it did feel as if, again, Spear was doing so well early on. He was pulling ArT apart. He was just out multitasking straight up. It was crazy.
Yeah.
But then a couple of things went ArT's way. Suddenly he got map control. Suddenly he was just able to solidify all of his bases, get into the sky toss, and he did end up having just a better late game composition and late game control. Spear, we pointed out that we're
yeah, obviously ghosts were missing from that army of Spear, but I did think that it was a very impressive Sky Terran army that Spear was creating. ArT, however, just had the better control. He was able to utilize his Tempest more efficiently than Spear was utilizing his Vikings. And those storms, man. Those storms were the cherry on top.
Yeah, it felt as if like Keen's army was a good like
Spear's army.
yeah, sorry, Spear's army. Oh, no Keen.
Keen,
I miss Keen. My commander Keen. But Spear, like, it felt like his army was great, like, maybe, like, just before, you know, not quite late game, you know, like, before there are too many Tempests, before Storm, maybe, like, it looks ideal, or even with Storm, like, the Liberators bully away the High Templar, and then your Vikings come in, right? But once there are enough Tempests, then it's just, it's too much.
Critical mass, yeah. And that was a little too much, but now let's see if things are going to be different as we load into Hardwire LE. Of course, in the top right-hand corner map, swinging all the way to the top right-hand corner, we have our red Terran player coming out from the land of Korea, playing out of his mind today. He is going to be representing Team NV. He is Spear, not Pen.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Hardwire LE, we have the pink Polish Protoss player currently getting proxied, representing Genesis Gaming. Not Geralt, as I see in the chat.
It might as well be.
Yeah, it's the other one, or the other one. There's a lot of them. Pink Polish Protoss players.
No.
That is
a Christianer.
It is ArT.
Other Protoss player.
Yeah, we do have a probe scout coming across the map for ArT. He will confirm the missing racks from his opponents, but is it a real missing racks?
Yeah, we have seen players like Bjorn try to fake out a proxy many times, and best case scenario, it gets their Protoss opponent to overreact. This time, Spear cannot, ArT cannot overreact though, because it is a actual proxy coming this way.
Oh yeah.
And you know what? See a Bjorn a little bit there. I do kind of feel like Spear has a similar, I don't want to say style, but a similar strategy, shall we say, to Bjorn, where he likes being active on the map. He likes, pushing as much as possible. But obviously, a very key difference: Spear is much more focused on multi-prong and trying to attack at different angles. Bjorn just wants to have one really good push.
It's like the core, or like the essence is very similar, but again, they go at it in different ways. I think is the best way to put it, because I would put Spear, Bjorn, and Keen in that camp with how they approach certain matchups. But here we go. The first bunker already gets denied. The Reaper's going to try and do some damage here, but gets forced away. And so far, this proxy hasn't done too much for Spear.
Yeah, second Reaper's on the way right now, and it's going to try to meet up with the Hellion eventually, I imagine.
Yeah, exactly. Hellion is on the way, back at home, but still on the way. Nonetheless, the Reapers are just sharking around trying to find some damage, but ArT doesn't give a damn. He's just going across that with his adept.
Yeah, he knows there aren't going to be any defenses back at home. So why wouldn't he?
Yeah, wow, and he forces Spear to turn around. Oh my god, he's going one. He's going.
But it does also. He's going. Wait.
I mean, there's still no CC. He's going 1-1-1. Like he's saying he's going for a drop. He's going for a drop.
Huh. Alright, well, this drop is gonna have to do a whole lot. Nice micro here from Spear, being able to take out the actually the adept. I thought it was just a zealot.
Yeah, gets the adept in the end. The zealot will eventually go down. Quickly looking at the vision of ArT, he hasn't seen anything. Smartly, Spear has kind of put all his production and all his buildings away from the wall to keep ArT guessing. For all ArT knows, Spear is going for a one base all in. And he did stay on one base for quite some time, but he does eventually have a natural in store for us.
Yeah, he's gonna lift it up and land it eventually, but yeah, it's gonna be a while before that happens.
Exactly, as the first Oracle is going across the map, already using some of its energy to clean up those Reapers in the middle of the map. Spear going for that Hellion drop, and back at home, what do we have to defend?
A bunch of adepts, and there's a shield battery here. I believe 3 Hellions is enough to one-shot the probes. But
oh, he ran out of energy!
No!
Ah!
Bad, man.
Oh my god, the Hellions do get into the main base and do get 4 probes in the end. Not bad, especially because the Hellions are still alive. Literally nothing here shoots up the Adepts or the Oracles, so the medevac is going to be fine for now.
They're going to be escaping just as the stalkers get warped in. So yeah, well, I'm sure Spear wanted to do a lot more damage with that. He got a decent amount of probes, and of course keeping the Hellions and the medevac alive is the most important thing right now. But we'll see how much longer he can actually keep them alive. One Hellion already going down, and medevac will go down to the Phoenix as well. Another Hellion will be taken out, and that's just going to be it.
Yeah, Spear is in a really rough place. Like, his proxy did nothing. His follow-up delayed his own CC and also did kill 4 probes, which, I mean, that is at least some damage, but he still doesn't have map control either. Like, he's still stuck at home. His stim is so late. His upgrades in general are so late as well. He's just kind of going to be stuck at home for a little bit.
Yeah, not too much longer. A stim is on the way, but of course with how the openings have been so far, you have to imagine that ArT is going to be pretty well defended. Going to be able to defend pretty well against the stim timing.
Yeah, and we'll see if Spear can survive that long. Quickly checking the upgrades here. Okay, Twilight Council is still on the way, so no blink is available for ArT. But the tanks are on siege, Yaku.
They're on siege and looking to get picked off. And even if they do siege, there's Phoenix here that can lift up at least one of them. Oh, actually not anymore. He's using its energy on this Cyclone, which does mean that the Oracles will come in uncontested and take out 6 SCVs. ArT is up roughly 20 workers.
I didn't want to look at it, Yaku, but yes, the worker disparity is insane. ArT doesn't push into the natural. He doesn't need to. He can just chill here and pick away at the army. Spear is moving out, and this is honestly a pretty strong push. Stim will finish by the time his army gets across the map, and he has 3 tanks.
Yeah, that's pretty scary right now. 1 Phoenix ain't gonna cut it against 3 tanks. Stim is about to finish up as well, so if Spear is able to come in and take out a base, he can equalize. He can, slowly start to get himself back in this game economically.
Oh yeah, he's now moving out across the map. This army does get tagged, so ArT is fully aware of it. Blink will not finish up for this engagement, so he has to rely on nothing but his units. Maybe he can get a stasis trap up and running back at home. His Oracles are returning. He does have a couple of stalkers. This defense is going to be pretty tight.
Oh, especially if he can get the stasis ward off. Yeah, okay, not too bad. Takes out the Cyclone.
Yeah,
tanks sieging up a little bit out of position.
Yeah, tanks have to try and get a little bit closer. They will edge on closer to that base. Will shell away at that shield battery. We're not going to have an overcharge to help in this engagement, but Blink is going to finish in a couple of seconds. Oh, the probes
do all get taken out. And third base is in a lot of trouble. SCVs trying to build bunkers as quickly as they can, and ArT is going to lose that third base. But now he can start to turn this around.
Oh, exactly. Meanwhile, Oracle goes across the map. Nothing here shoots up. We have 3 Marauders back at home, and they can't shoot up, Buffy. Ah!
Yeah, not even if they lie down on their back.
Their arms are just too heavy to lift, mate. Oh, God. Meanwhile, ArT, he's expanding here towards the triangular third location. Blink is done. There was a moment there with the tanks were on siege where I thought maybe he could try and dive on top of them, but in the end, he did not go for it. Instead, he's getting ready. Looks like for a surround.
And this surround should be crippling. Look at how exposed those tanks are.
Oh my god, exactly. This is spotted by Spear. He does see this with his missile turret.
He's going to pull back to try to defend them, and reinforcements are on their way, but can they get here quick enough? Tanks are going to go down, but it is only Stalkers remaining, and Stim did complete for Spear. I think Spear might be doing it.
Yeah, he can still pull this off. Mate, the Marauders are going to rock up as well. What do we have here to defend? We have 1 shield battery. We do not have enough energy for an overcharge. He's stepping on forward. He can do it.
He's doing it. He's actually doing it. The army gets evaporated of ArT right now. GG is called. And Spear ties up our series. Sideways 1-1. Sideways 1-1.
Oh,
Dude!
GG, well played. The 3-tank push with Stim. Again, Spear was in a desperate position. He had to make something happen there. He wasn't slowed down as he was pushing out across the map. Again, I thought that ArT's Gateway Army in the middle was going to do a little bit more, but he just backed off. He allowed him to siege up. Spear does it. We're going to an ace match.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. I mean, yeah. And while it still does look very... I mean, I don't want to get ahead of myself, like, but if you would have told me after we got our semifinals here, you know, Beyond versus Chance and Spear versus ArT, if you would have told me that both of them were going to go to the ace match, I would not have believed you for a second.
True. Like, ArT is the more accomplished player. Spear is Korean, don't get me wrong, but also he's kind of been... I don't know, he's kind of been in the up-and-comer spot for quite some time, you know, he's been in the middle of the pack. Can he break through? We'll see, because here he's quite a terrifying opponent, and tying up the series. Nate, I'm impressed, let's go.
I'm very impressed, alright then. We're getting ready for our game number 3, our Glittering Ashes. It's going to be concluding our semifinals.
Oh yeah. One way or another, this series will end. Will it be our Polish Protoss or our Korean Terran moving on to the grand finals? Personally, I hope it's the Polish Protoss because I don't want to see a TvT finals, but
yeah. Even if it's with two Terran players who do play a more active style, it does tend to slow down regardless. Anyway, we are going to be concluding our best of 3 semifinalists here on Glittering Ashes LE. So far, we've literally only seen 3 maps, like. Oh no, 4. There was Berlingrad at one time. But for the most part, it's just been these 3. In the top right-hand corner of the map, running all the way in the top right-hand corner, we of course have our pink Polish Protoss player coming out from the land of Poland, as we just mentioned. He's going to be representing Genesis Gaming. He is the top seed of SCC. He is ArT.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Glittering Ashes LE, we have the South Korean Terran player himself representing Team NV. It is Spear. Tying up the series 1-1.
Not pair.
Not pair. Let's go. Oh god. Meanwhile, we're gonna give a quick shout out to someone special, very special in the chat. Daddy Duddles.
Hey! Who?
Who the hell is Duddles?
Who?
Oh my god. Welcome. It's been a while since we've seen you be active at least here in the Cranky Ducklings. So welcome. I hope everything is going well.
As do I.
Hope the fam is doing well.
Yeah. The guitars as well.
The guitars, yep.
Oh, yeah.
Look, I'll be honest. When I think of Daddles, the only thing I think of is Daddles, okay? That's
Daddles, yeah.
That's the first thing that comes to mind. Oh, God.
He's the father of FXB, Clan Formos Bearsloths.
He is.
The captain. Well, technically his title is captain, but we all know that means father.
Exactly. He's got a lot of kids. But we are getting into this game, and ArT is looking a little bit paranoid. He is scouring the map right now for a proxy.
Yeah, and he knows that Spear is definitely capable of something like this, especially after that previous game that they just played. But Spear did go for that proxy, and you know, despite it kind of being figured out relatively early, he made most of it and was somehow able to bring us to an ace match.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that did come down to like ArT being in the dark for a while. Like eventually he was able to scout like the main base, but yeah, he wasn't really able to do anything or really slow down that push from Spear. It was really amazing to see what he could do, and oh my god, he's committed! He's doing it!
Dude!
Mate.
He is gonna get cloaked mines coming up pretty soon.
Thor drop, let's go. Oh my god, this is going to be crazy. So this is going to be a very committed mind drop. Looking at ArT, he will have detection. He does have an Oracle, but it's about whether or not it's at home in time.
Yeah, whether he's even getting drilling claws.
Oh my god.
That's going to be even less time for ArT to react.
Okay, so Spear hinging a lot on this Widowmine drop, pulling out all the stops, the upgrades, the armory. I believe it's going to be 4 Widowmines in total. We'll see. It should be more than 2. But I worry because ArT is committed to Phoenixes. The worst case scenario for Spear is that if he gets caught out in the middle of the map.
Yeah, if he gets caught out in the middle of the map, if mines get picked up before they can borrow, but I guess that is why he's sending his Marines out, and I guess that's also why he is working on drilling claws and cloak.
Oh god, that was so close. The medevac almost ran into the Oracle. The Oracle's gonna try and slip on in. You know, he has not seen the upgrade that's on the way on the tech lab. He hasn't seen it.
Uh-oh. Honestly, even if he does see the research, he may just be thinking that it's Maglev.
True, it could be. Meanwhile, the Oracle dips in, does confirm the research on the tech lab, does see the Widowmine, and now he should be aware of what is happening. Has the Robo on the way, even has the Forge on the way as well.
Yeah, cannons are always a possibility here for ArT to take advantage of, but at the same time, he's also getting a Void Ray. Interesting choice.
Yeah, and I don't know if I like this. Like, he did end up using all of his bars. He wasn't too careful with them. Only 2 probes for now.
Here's the thing. They're going to rearm. Oh, there's an observer already.
Yeah, that's what I mean. We had a rover. Like, he read this. It looks like ArT has defended beautifully. We still have another drop on the way. You know, again, like, well, it's not over yet. But, oh boy. Like, ArT, he has all the tools he needs.
With this. He definitely does, but we'll see. Again, with drilling claws, there is a much smaller window of opportunity to react to a situation like this, but ArT, he's got that window.
Yeah, exactly. Even picks up the mine as well. ArT has completely shut this down. Meanwhile, another drop into the main base. One last widow mine. We need a shot to go off. We need a good shot, puppy.
Before it gets taken out, but with the cannon, he's able to kill it with the probes. ArT is so solid.
Oh my god.
Everything is being shut down right now. I gotta be honest, like, I'm used to seeing Widow Mines like this just bully the Protoss player into submission. I'm not used to seeing a Protoss player defend against this, but ArT is making me question everything.
Mate, someone is being bullied into submission right now, mate. Let me tell you. As even these Widow Mines in the middle of the map, they get revealed, they get taken down. ArT shuts down everything at the end of all things. 5 mines for 6 probes. Dude.
And let's not forget, that's not just 6. That's not just 5 mines. That was also an armory very early on, as well as drilling claws being researched. So this has not yet paid for itself. And Spear is going for mech. In TvP?
He's got the second factory. He's got +1 air vehicle weapons on the way as well. I almost never say that, but he's got it on the way. Another drop gets caught out as well. Gets revealed. Pick up. Look at him go.
Look at him, yeah. He's killing everything.
Hey,
I don't even want to look at the resources lost tab.
he's bullying Spear right now. He can't leave his base. Whenever he tries, he just gets shut down by the Phoenixes. Again, ArT, just a beautiful early game here by him. Meanwhile, I was joking about it earlier, but we do indeed have a Thor on the way.
Yeah, I mean, that's one way of dealing with the Phoenixes, I suppose.
I mean, it can't be lifted.
Yeah. As a mine, 2 mines actually do go off. I think they both target down a Oracle though, unfortunately, there for Spear. So yeah, not quite able to deal as much damage, but at the very least, you know, cleans up the Phoenix.
It's something, and something is what he needs. Like,
it's more than nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Spear is taking his 3rd base. He's trying desperately to catch up in the worker count. He's down 10 workers right now, but like, he has a really interesting army, and this we'll see where this takes us. He's going for a very slow mech style. Tanks and Thors. No Hellions, no Cyclones. So he's not going to be active with this army, but it looks like he still wants to harass with these mines.
Yeah, well, he's gotta, you know. He's committed to them, and he definitely doesn't want the Protoss economy to get out of control. Like you mentioned it, this is a very slow style of mech. He's not going to be able to get the map control, so he needs to slow down his opponent somehow.
I love the drop. Let's go. Thor drop across the map as well. Meanwhile, at the same time, the drop does go over the army, but not much. Oh my god, the feedback! Oh my god.
It was OP, and that was 4 mines. Not just 4 mines, but also the hopes and dreams of Spear to come back in this game.
I am shocked right now.
Pretty heavy cargo.
It was so smart to use the feedback. I was like, yo, the Void Ray doesn't have enough DPS to really shut this down, but apparently it does with the help of the feedback. The medevac gets taken down as well. The Thor is left completely alone, and ArT is looking to hunt it down.
I like him stepping here from ArT that Void Ray does eventually go down, but here come the Immortals.
Yeah. Immortals on the way, Blink Stalkers as well. Sure, they're Marines to stop him, but again, these are stimless Marines. Vanilla Marines, they do nothing. Yeah. Oh, God.
I mean, will the Marines really stop him?
No.
The Marines are going to meet him. I don't know about stopping him, buddy, as the tanks get picked up, the Colossus is coming in to deal with everything else. Immortals finally going to meet the rest of this army. That's a lot of tanks, though, siege up in the back. But that's also a lot of tanks getting picked up by Phoenix.
Yeah, so, unfortunately, with the death of the Thor, the anti-air is very limited here for Spear. All the Marines get taken out, and just like that, ArT hits in beautiful timing. GG gets called, and ArT moves on to the grand finals.
That was an interesting ace game, I gotta say. Interesting ace map.
That was
interesting strategy, interesting tactics coming out here from Spear.
That was crazy, mate. That was crazy.
That yeah. What's a one step above crazy? That's what I want to know.
Oh my god, he went full pair, and I don't I don't know if that was the best thing. It was entertaining, don't get me wrong, but I was much more impressed by how ArT just completely slapped it down, mate. Like it was nothing. Oh.
Yeah, pretty much. It's one of those things where it's like, oh, you don't see this too often, and now we find out why.
Yeah.
ArT demonstrates why we don't see this.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, what I will say is that, like, I've seen it work before, you know, even at the highest level of play.
You?
Yeah,
I haven't.
I'm sure. Yo, everyone, check out our YouTube channel. We have plenty of TvPs out there. I'm sure we've casted that before.
Before GG,
maybe I wouldn't be surprised if maybe even Keen has done that before. But yeah, like, we've seen it work. But alas, like, ArT was just too good, you know.
He really was. And there's a reason why he's the top seed.
Yeah, he was just cool, calm, and calculated with how he dealt with it. He wasn't flustered at all, but by what he was seeing, he scouted the tech lab researching early on as well. Just GG.
GG, very GG. As our players are eager to get the finals on the way, but as always, we will have a break, but even before that, we will have a raffle as to be announced. As we what are you pressing down? What are you?
This is my imaginary drum that I'm beating.
Ah, you mean like a
there you go. He's ready to go.